What's up, good people? It's your man Jay Free, the Enlightened Perspective. Hoping everybody's having a wonderful and blessed afternoon thus far. Um, just continuing to press forward, seeking growth, always desiring and seeking more knowledge. Remember, perspective is everything. As a man thinks, so is he. How you view a situation determines your outcome, your reaction, your response. And so, our desire is that we look at situations from a different point of view and a different perspective, that we might arouse our critical thinking juices. So there's a lot that's going on around us that we've been discussing already, in regards to the World War III agenda, what's happening in Charlottesville, Virginia, or what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia, the importance and significance of these events as they occur, because, they would have us to believe that these are just isolated incidents. They would have us to believe that these are just occurrences, they just occurred, without having us to think that they're actually connected to a much bigger scheme, a much bigger agenda, all pushing towards a more larger scale event occurring, as they continue to push the buttons and stir the population. We have to remember that this is about population control, New World Order, one world government, conspiracy, whatever you want to call it, but the proof is in the pudding. Evidence is clearly seen before us now. It is up to us, the people, to realize what's going on and to wake up in order to stop the attack that's being placed on us. They're using division and separation amongst us. The government is the one responsible for what we're suffering and dealing with on both sides. However, we're fighting amongst each other. You see what I'm saying? We're fighting, but the government is the one that is responsible. And so this is why it's so pertinent that we pay attention as they set the atmosphere and the tone, as they create the scenarios in which we find ourselves involved in. So the race war, as I've said before, is instigated. It's propagated. It's just propaganda, man. But it's real as long as we continue to entertain and then allow it to be real. There is hate in this country. And so it's up to us to realize what's happening and what's going on and not continue to allow ourselves to be used as pawns. It's up to us, to realize that there's a difference in the gap. And so what I'm saying is that we need white people to acknowledge the disparity that goes on between the two sides. But we also need black people to realize that it's not just about hating every white person that you see. We have to be able to discern who people are. The white supremacist mentality is developed, just like all of our perspectives have been shaped and molded. The white supremacist perspective mentality is developed because of the corruption of the system. See, the system teaches us all our understanding of identity. And so as the system teaches that black is whack and white is right, unconsciously, and I've got videos, you just have to go and look at them. But as the system teaches us psychologically that there's a difference, and so blacks grow up with an inferiority complex and whites grow up with a feeling of privilege and superiority. That's all unconscious programming. You see what I'm saying? And so what happens though is the system is designed to keep all of us down and out of whack. It's designed to keep us divided and separated. So what happens is that the white person who grows up with the ideology that they are privileged and that they are superior, when they fall victim to the system as far as they can't get employment or they can't get the job they like, or you know what I'm saying, they suffer things as the regular person suffers. They don't take it as normal, because in their mind this shouldn't be their life because they're white. And so whereas a black person will accept poverty, and a black person will accept, unfair treatment and different things of that nature, the white person, because they have been unconsciously programmed to feel privileged, they won't accept that. So this is where this attitude is developed, the white supremacist. So now they find buddies that's like them that say, yeah, it's because of the niggers and the Jews, that's why you ain't got no job, because affirmative action and da-da-da. And so the hate is fueled from a place of ignorance. Because they're unaware of the truth, they have to have somewhere to point the finger. And so this is why I say we have to come to a point of acknowledgement and realization of what's going on and why there's such a separation and difference. And so I don't hate the white supremacist because he hates me. I understand his ignorance. You see what I'm saying? But I understand his ignorance don't mean I'm going to let him violate me. It just means that I hope the day will come when he will realize that he is misinformed and can look from a different perspective. There's a movie out, again, I always reference movies because information is available. There's a movie out, I believe it was called Supremacy or Supremacist, and it has Danny Glover. It's got Luke, I forgot his name, the guy who played Antoine Fisher with Denzel Washington. It's got him in it, Derek Luke, I believe his name is. It's got him and Danny Glover, and it's got a couple other people in it, but it's, again, based on a true story, and it's about a white supremacist who, on his first day out of prison, ends up killing the black cop. And he, in running and hiding, he escapes into their home. And while he's in their home, him and his girlfriend, a lot of interactions happen while they're in his home. But the main point I'm bringing up is all of the misconceptions and false ideas that fueled their hate as to why they were part of this KKK movement and they were supremacists, and because they was misinformed. They were ignorant in regards to their understanding of us as blacks or others as minorities. And this is what we saying. I ain't excusing or knocking it, baby, because you're not coming over here to violate me. What I'm saying is, in order for us to heal, in order to stop going in the direction that we are currently going, we have to begin to open our eyes and pay attention to the truths of what are going on, and we have to be able to acknowledge within ourselves. So we have to see our own error and fault in order to correct the situation going forward. So that's why I'm saying the white supremacist mentality, it is a developed, it is a taught, it is a learned response and a learned behavior from the system in which we reside. The same as black inferiority is a learned behavior. The reason why a black person or a minority will allow, degradation and hate on themselves is because of the unconscious reasoning within their mind that says this is where I'm supposed to be. Again, I have videos on this. And more importantly, I have a video using the Dial study where you can see the psychological development as it contains to how we were brought up as children. And you can see our reactions and response and how these concepts and ideas of race and how we relate to one another, you can see how they connect and tie together. And so this is where the adults that exist now are created from the child that developed this ignorant style of reasoning or sense of reasoning when it comes to color. Please go look at the video on my channel, United Intellectual. Please look at the video about how we look at each other the way that we do, and how it affects us, because it's very pertinent that you can see firsthand, because it's not me talking, it's the video where you can see the children themselves and their reactions and response. This is very important, people, because we're sitting on the brink of a civil war. But I believe that it is being orchestrated behind the scenes by a group that's desire and plan is for the one world government and agenda. So these things aren't just occurrences that are happening and popping up out of nowhere. These are strategic planned events, you see what I'm that are set in a particular time and order, moving towards an end game and an end plan. So it's up to us to pay attention to what is going on, because if we don't, then we will fall victim to what is happening. It's your man, Jay Free. I see the enlightened perspective, as always, just trying to talk to us and trying to help us to stay woke. I will be coming back again and dropping a little bit more, because we have to talk about the effects of Charlottesville and what is really happening behind the scenes. So I'll be back in a little bit. It's your man, Jay Free. As always, love, peace, blessings. I love y'all, man. One.